Okay,
Hey, everybody.
we are live. Hello, everybody. Yes.
Welcome to our happy half hour.
What number is this? How many happy half hours have we had?
I think we're on 35.
35.
Yes, 35.
35. That's amazing. That's amazing.
That is. I'm Sam Shukavich, and with me, I hope I'm gesturing to the right side, is as always my father, David Shukavich, our president and CEO of Carolina Retirement Planners. So welcome. I hope that everybody is enjoying this beautiful, sunny, gorgeous Thursday afternoon. It's like a peak at the weather that is hopefully to come.
And we had that nice bit of warm weather last weekend that kind of got everybody thinking about spring,
Mm-hmm.
So,
In not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, we are going to be springing forward, which I am very excited about.
oh, is it that soon?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I enjoy the extra hour of sleep, but I much prefer the extra hour of sunshine. So I'm very excited to have the extra hour of daylight. To go bicycle around the neighborhood and whatnot.
And for those of you who are here for the first time, this is our happy half hour where we talk about, where we have some fun, but also try to talk about something educational. And we've done this, 35 weeks now. This is our 35th week. And we have a regular group of listeners who come in, or watchers, or whatever you call someone on a Facebook Live. We have Teresa here. I see that. And
Miranda,
Miranda,
that's my mom. That's
Miranda
my mom.
it is. It's
Amy's mom.
Mother. Oh, behind the scenes, you can't see her, or maybe she can show herself. We have Amy. Amy is the one who figures out how to get the Zoom connected to the Facebook, connected to all that stuff. So so she'll be here in the background. She's running things. And we don't know if you're here unless you make a comment. So what you should do is go into the comments and say, hey, hi from so-and-so. Tell us what you're drinking. Sam, what are you drinking today?
Oh, for my happy half hour beverage, I am enjoying since it's so beautiful, a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. I'm feeling a little zesty today, so I wanted my beverage to also feel a little zesty.
And I'm having my normal herbal tea because I just found out drinking bourbon and all during these things, it can throw me off. It can throw me off.
I'm going to share this because my boyfriend got me a vanilla milk stout from Highland Brewery. I typically don't drink a lot of beer, but I'm doing it today. So
that looks good.
It's like nothing like a stout to, in fact, the Guinness factory, when I was there in Ireland a few years ago, you got all these little stickers. Guinness is good for you, strength, and the whole bit. They're supposed to give it to nursing mothers or something. Iron, who knows, but any reason to drink beer. We also see we have, besides Miranda, who is an absolute regular. I think she's been for everyone.
Yeah, top fan Miranda.
Rick is here. Rick and Marcy must be here. Kay is here. And probably her husband.
Martha and Nadine.
Bruce.
And Ricky.
Patrick, Richard. Oh, the other thing you can do.
Oh, Richard's my neighbor. Hey, Richard.
Hey. The other thing you can do is down below on your Facebook Live, there's a place where you can say share. And if you click on share and then click on watch party, it'll tell all your friends that you're on here watching us, and they can come in and join with you and that's nice because it's a way to let more people know that they got this resource available. And what's our topic today, Sam?
Well, we want to talk about our bonds safe.
Our bonds safe, but we got to talk. We can't go there quite yet. We need to talk. What day is it? We always like to celebrate what day it is. What day is today?
Okay, well, today we actually did 2 presentations. So this morning we did a presentation for the Brunswick Forest residents. And so we talked a little bit about how it was World Book Day and National Grammar Day and some of our favorite books. And oh gosh, my mom's on here, so we can't really talk about her correcting our grammar.
No, we can't talk about her
We
correcting
love you, Mom.
grammar, you know.
But it's also National Marching Band Day.
Marching
So
band.
have any of y'all, were any of you in your youth a part of the marching band? Did you play an instrument? Were you up there marching in formation? I did not. I played the viola in the orchestra. So we were pretty stayed in one place.
I played the trumpet a little bit in high school, in some
What?
school, but we didn't have a marching band, or I never got into the marching part. Yeah, I got a trumpet sitting around. I still have the trumpet somewhere around the house, you know.
There's a trumpet at the house?
There's a trumpet at the house. I think it's down in the basement somewhere. So if you get an urge to play it, let me know.
I do. Well, I knew that we had an accordion and the hammered dulcimer and the penny whistle and the bow and psaltery and the
tubulong and
tubulong.
It goes on and on. But I have a book. This is also was it National Book Day?
It is. It's World Book Day.
I have a book that, if you're like me and you grew up kind of in the early rock and roll era, I came across a book. It's called The Wrecking Crew, and it was written by a guy named Kent Hartman. And it tells the story of this group of studio musicians who were basically, if you listen to the Los Angeles group, Phil Spector, the Beach Boys, Mamas and the Papas, the Byrds, all of these, they didn't play on their albums. It turned out in Los Angeles, they had a whole group of professional musicians who came and played. So the artists would sing, but it turned out they wouldn't let them play on the albums because the studio musicians were so much better. And the book is fascinating, goes through each of the life of each of them and what they did and the things they were on. And what's really neat now is, like, on the Wichita lineman, they're talking about someone came in and, remember the Wichita lineman is still on the line. They talk about he came in with this other instrument and played it. Well, today you can go to Spotify or whatever, and you can call up that song and you can listen to exactly the part they're describing. So the Wrecking Crew, if you're on this call in the retired world or close to retirement, you're going to love this, because you're going to be amazed at the songs that you never realized. I got to do a review of it for the newsletter. I've been meaning to do that. So
that is really cool. I want to read that book too. And we don't want to distract you from our presentation, but I love getting a big group of people together like this. If you have read a good nonfiction, fiction, any kind of book in the last bit here that you want to recommend to us and to this group here, I would love for you to write it in the chat so we can all kind of crowdsource book recommendations.
We also, as you know, we usually, or many of you know, we publish a newsletter about 6 times a year on paper, printed on dead trees, delivered to your door by a uniformed employee of the U.S. government. And we have book reviews in that. We're always looking for some of them might want to contribute something. So that's one. One just came out. We missed most of last year with COVID, but we got one out this past bit. So who else has come? And then we'll get on and start the business here. Nadine is doing Sauvignon Blanc. Margie and Doug are here. Charlene is here.
Sorry, I lost track.
Sonia is here. Richard, Rick. Hey, Rick. And Patrick is here.
Reba used to play the clarinet in New Bern. Oh, and she marched in the Azalea Festival every year. That is very.
My mom used to play the accordion.
Brent is here.
We have an accordion. My dad bought one, and I think that my mom I think that there was a lot of discouragement from him. Like, you know, I think that it takes longer than you'd think to really be good at the accordion.
Yeah.
Never stopped me before.
My grandfather, her dad, my Jaja, my Polish grandfather, kind of tricked her into her and one of her brothers into
Jay and
playing it.
Carter are here. Cindy's here. I see my dear wife Sandy's and is here, which is why we can't talk about her grammar correction. John is here. Sonia, I think so. But we got an Ed's here. Let's go. Let's get
Come on,
going.
Dad, let's get down to the business.
Let's get down to the business. You know, just
Tell us about bonds, Dad. Here, I'll make myself small so we can see.
so one of the questions is, are bonds safe? And you know, we had a question come in ahead of time saying, make sure you tell us what kind of bonds you're talking about. And you know, we're really talking about all bonds because they're all going to have this characteristic, whether they're government bonds or whether they're corporate bonds. And you know, we know that there's certain risk with bonds. Like if you buy a bond and the company goes out of business, you might lose your money. But I want to talk more about what happens to bonds, that happens to all bonds when interest rates change. And you know what always bothered me, most people when they describe this, they talk about a seesaw. As interest rates go up, bond prices go down, and you know, and that's kind of great. That tells me how a seesaw works, but it doesn't really tell me why it's happening. So I've come up with a little explanation for that. To back up even further, when you invest in a company, there's two ways to do it. You can be an owner in the company. And how do you become an owner, Sam?
You buy a stock.
You buy a stock.
Yeah.
And you know, you have all the risk ownerships. The company does badly, the stock falls. The company goes out of, you know, its company does well, the stock goes up. How do you invest as a lender?
You would buy a bond.
You buy a bond. You're saying, hey, I'm going to give you money. I'm going to give you $1,000, $10,000, and you're going to pay me X% a year for X years and then give me my money back. That's the kind of the way the bond works. And so to kind of show you one of the risks, we're gonna talk about a hypothetical person by the name, one of our characters by the name of Pauline. And Pauline has gone out and she has bought a bond, $100 bond. I'm going to keep it real simple here. And she's bought a $100 bond that's going to pay her 3%. And if the bond pays her 3% a year, how much is she going to get every year? How many dollars?
$3.
$3. See, I don't ask tough questions on happy half hours, right? So each year, whoever owns this bond is going to get $3 every year. And this is a 30-year bond, which means they're going to pay her $3 a year for 30 years, or whoever owns this bond, and then they're going to give her $100 back. Okay, so here's what happens. Pauline gets in trouble. Pauline is one who falls into a lot of peril. And if that doesn't mean anything, Google it later. But Pauline finds herself in a perilous situation 3 years later. So she's got 27 years left on this bond. But 3 years later, interest rates have gone from 3% to 6%. They've doubled. That wouldn't be hard to do because interest rates are so low right now. So interest rates have gone up, but all of a sudden Pauline's in trouble. She needs her $100 back. She's got problems. She needs the money. So she comes to me and she says, David, I have this $100 bond paying 3%. I get $3 every year. Will you buy it off of me? Will you give me $100 for it? Now, am I going to do that? Would I buy that 3% bond for $100?
Whenever you can go out and buy a 6% bond?
Yeah, I could put
I would say
$100 in
no.
a 6% bond and I could get $6.
Yeah,
That'd be
that doesn't
crazy to
seem like
do.
a good deal to me.
Ah. So what she says, but she says, David, I just need I need money. What can you do for me? And I'll say, I'll tell you what, Pauline, I'll give you $50 for that bond. I'll buy it off you for $50. Now, if I'm the owner of that bond, how much are they going to pay me every year? Well, they're still going to pay me $3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever owns the bond gets $3 a year. If I only paid $50 for it and I'm getting $3 every year, what percentage return do I have? 6%. So that's why when bond prices go up or interest rates go up, bond prices drop. You got to sell your bond cheaper to compete with the bonds that are out there. Now, here's the thing. I'm probably going to have to pay her more than $50 for the bond. I didn't calculate it, but it's probably going to be more like something like $60. Now, do you know why that is? And it has to do with the fact that in 27, I paid $50 for this bond, but in 27 more years, they're going to give me $100 back. So I'm going to make that extra $50, but I got to wait 27 years to do it. And there, you get into this thing with the time value of money, and they calculate, you know, what this bond would be worth if the interest, you know, compounded for that many years. So usually you got to pay a little more. You can also see that the closer I am to when the bond comes due, the less the difference here. For instance, if the bond was due in a couple of months, I'd probably have to give her most of the 100 because they're going to give me 100 back in a couple of months. But anyway, this is, now here's a little side story. You know, as many of you know who've been on the calls a lot or know as well, I actually have a degree in engineering. I got out of Cornell, went to work for Corning, Ciba Geigy, had my own thing. And for about 20, 25 years, I did engineering, and then I switched 20 years ago this year, I switched here. So when I switched, I had to study and take all the tests to be licensed in the financial world. And, you know, when you're an engineer, you know, thermodynamics, physics, you know, it's not that, math isn't that hard. So the math for most of finance, it wasn't a big deal. The toughest thing I ran into was the calculations for bonds and bond values and all the stuff on the test. That was the toughest part. Sam, you did the same thing here about 3 or 4 years ago. Did you have any trouble with bond stuff?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
I don't know why.
You lie. I remember you were fretting about the bond stuff, same as me.
Yes,
so,
it was arguably the most challenging part to wrap your head around.
It is just,
you aced it, Sam.
I did. I passed it on my first try, which many advisors don't, and I scored very high.
Yeah, actually,
not to brag, but I'm going to brag a little.
Sam
brag away.
Sam mind mapped the whole classwork. Now, those of you who worked with us, you know, when we get to know someone, we do a profile with all the little, where we map out your world and your kids and your health and your investments and your dog and your cat. We do a little picture. That's actually called a mind map. And Sam had that same thing done for all this studying. It went on forever. And I was, you know,
it was pretty impressive.
It is impressive, but I just tell her it's heredity, you know? So, okay. So how much might your money fall? There's a way, there's a way to figure this out, and it's called duration. And FINRA is the Financial Industry Regulatory Association, and they talk about duration. Duration is there's a lot of things that go into it. And boy, you could be here forever, but it's kind of how long you got to wait till the bond comes due. And they have a rule of thumb. They say that if the interest rate goes up 1%, a bond with a 10-year duration will fall 10%. If it goes up 1% and you have a 20-year bond, it'll fall 20%. 30-year bond will fall 30%. So the longer term bonds can drop in significantly if we see an interest rate rise. And if you have a portfolio, you know, when we do Morningstar analysis, people bring portfolios, we kind of give them a second opinion. One of the things on the analysis is it calculates the bond duration of the bonds in their account, even though they may have mutual funds with thousands of bonds. It'll go through and figure all that stuff out. And that's one of the things we look at. Let's see, there was something else I wanted to touch on bonds.
I'm not sure what it was, but I wanted to know what you think about our current interest rate environment for bonds in general.
Well, it's like rock bottom low. Our interest rates are about as low as they've ever been. They're kind of bouncing along the bottom here a little bit, but it has nowhere to go but up. And sooner or later, it's going to go up. And the worst thing that could happen is we have a crisis where stocks fall and interest rates rise, and then both your stocks and your bonds will fall. Here is one other thing that I thought about. There is a difference between owning a bond and owning a bond fund.
Absolutely.
If Pauline owned this bond and interest rates went up, you know, and she waited the other 27 years, she would get her $100 back. Now, most people, when they buy bonds, they're buying them in a mutual fund or an ETF. They're buying a big pool of bonds all together. It's nice because you spread the risk. If one company goes out of business, you don't have a great big hit. But if you own a bond fund and interest rates go up, basically your money goes away and you're not going to get it back. You can't wait it out because the company's forever turning over the bonds in the fund. So there's even more risk if you have a bond fund full of bonds. And actually, one of the things we've done recently on some of our managed accounts that we have with the institutional investors we have is we've switched the bond portfolios to a shorter duration because we're anticipating an interest rate increase. Won't make us bigger return, but we won't see the loss if that occurs. So that's a little bit on bonds and you know, are they safe? It kind of at least tells you the interest rate part, something we should be concerned of, because boy, prices are as low as they've been. They're going to go up sooner or later. I mean, it just so, but hope that helps.
I just want to say bond funds sound super scary. I don't think I like that.
Oh, no, they're not necessarily scary, but you just need to know how to play them in there, you know?
That's because I don't know how to play them in there. That's why.
So, and a lot more. We could bore everybody to death in bonds, but this is a happy half hour, and so we're going to keep it kind of close. And we're pretty soon we're going to do our drawing. Do we have any giveaways this week?
You could do the tax sheet. If there's anybody that has not received it yet, we'd be more than happy to get it out to them. They just need to send an email.
Yeah, we put this in the newsletter we sent to all our clients this past couple of weeks. But this, you know, every year they change the tax rates and how much you can gift and how much you can contribute to IRAs and what the tax brackets are. And it's always good to have, you know, the latest one put on your refrigerator, you know, something. But if you'd like a copy of the 2021 rates, drop us an email, and I think Amy can put in the comments what the email is to, and we'll send you along a copy of this. If you want a paper copy, give us your email us your address and we'll send you a paper copy as well.
I
And
also wanted to make a note. Charlene had mentioned how excited that she was to receive our newsletter again. And if, many of you on this call did receive the newsletter, you are our clients, you are on our newsletter list. But if you are not and you're interested in receiving our newsletter, then let us know as well. We would love to add you. We do a really nice newsletter. We've been sending out a newsletter. Dad, how long have we been sending out a newsletter?
it's probably been 12, 14 years. I don't know when we did the first. And this is one we do it ourselves. We print it. It isn't like we bought, a lot of advisors, they buy a newsletter and we've got, my wife has written, a whole bunch of articles over the years that we've actually compiled into a book on articles on Wilmington. If you're interested in getting a copy of that on paper, let us know. And the story about the Christmas tree and the different statues and what some of the some of the historic houses and graveyards and all kinds of stuff. Really, she's such a good writer and an excellent grammarian.
That's why she's so good at correcting our grammar.
She's also very tolerant, she's very, but we won't go there. So that's something else we can get. And also, if you're on the call, you're a visitor and you kind of want to know about your bonds or have a question in retirement in general, you can contact us and book a 15-minute phone call. Let's get on the phone for 15 minutes. No cost obligation. Just talk about whatever's on your mind. And
yeah, I say that we had a few questions that came into the chat, and that would be a really good time, a good opportunity to just schedule a quick call and we can address those for you.
Yeah. So what are we talking about next week?
Women only.
Next week's a special week. What's this month? What's special about this month?
It's like National Women's History or Women's Awareness Month.
It's National Women's Month. And so
Women's Month, lady power.
Something like, but as some of you know, because some of you've been to it, prior to COVID, Sam and I did some presentations for women only. We did workshops highlighting women. Now, again, this is my 20th year doing this, and it wasn't really till I focused on that and did those workshops that I began to realize how important this planning is for women. I mean, I came to realize that all the work we're doing really isn't for the guys because they're going to be dead. We're doing the work for the women because 80% of the time they're living on, and it's really important to help them understand the importance. So this is focusing on women. Guys should not attend unless you have a woman that you care for and love and want to be sure they're taken care of. So
we also have a special giveaway next week for the people that attend if they're interested.
We do have
I won't give that away now, but it is a giveaway.
We have a giveaway for as many of, yes, we do. So that we'll let that be a surprise, but that is an important one. And I think you're going to enjoy, man or woman, you're going to get some insight there into some things. It gave me, it kind of, made me look at things in a different way. So
also our favorite part of the day, I've upgraded both my vessel and my entry cards to make it all bright and exciting. For our wine giveaway. So to enter our wine giveaway, there are a myriad of ways to enter. The easiest of which these days is to RSVP to each week's Facebook event. So if you just click that you're attending, that is the easiest way to get your name in this jar. The other ways are throughout the week, we send out a few different notifications to your email about the upcoming happy half hour. If you respond to those and say, enter me into the wine drawing, or you ask us a question about the topic for that about the upcoming topic, or you send us a future topic you'd like to see discussed, Or if you tell us that you're forwarding this email to a friend, we'd love to get the word out for the happy half hours. We want as many people to get out there and know about this as possible. We will, if you forward it to a friend, we will enter your name in twice. So as many ways as you can get it, get your name into this bucket here, we would love to do that. So I've actually got a lot in here today. I think I have like just over 40. So
45.
thank you all.
I think because we had last minute, so we had 48, something like that. It was a lot.
It is. Okay. So our winner this week of 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop located in Ogden. A really cool family-owned bottle shop. We love to support local businesses. So the winner this week is Chet C. So congratulations,
Okay.
Chet. You are our winner this week.
Chet's also another regular, so
Mhm.
we'll congratulations, Chet.
So
Okay.
for those of you who did not win, please join us next week. And if you're here on this call and you did not enter the wine drawing this week, please enter next week. And I would love to put your name in here and get you entered and send you wine.
Okay. Well, next week, women's special program for women and the men that care about them should be fun. Email, get listed in it, get listed on the wine thing. And if you got any questions, let us know. We'll get a 15-minute phone call. So other than that, it's been a good week. We will see you next next Thursday. Happy half hour.
Yeah.
I had to put my sweater on. It got cold.
Cheers.